Today is the first day of the new school year in Israel. And with the coronavirus still a threat, some of the upper grades will be taking lessons at home on their computers, what's now been called remote or distance learning. But that is a tougher challenge for some of the 26,000 children and teenagers living in residential education frameworks. Those are youth villages and boarding schools operated by the Ministry of Social Affairs and Services. Now, these are today primarily kids from disadvantaged backgrounds, what's defined as at-risk youth. And many of these facilities still lack the computer resources needed to do remote learning. Well, someone trying to deal with that problem is Ronnie Malkai, CEO of the Israeli Public Forum for Youth Villages and Boarding Schools. And she joins us now from Zichron Yaakov. Ronnie, thanks for being with us. I sketched the problem in general, but maybe go in a little more detail about the dimensions of the problem. I mean, how many of those kids have or don't have computers or even access to computers they're going to need this year?
Exactly. First of all, thank you for having me. And thank you for interesting in this topic. It's a very important topic, especially during the corona crisis. We are, as an NGO that we call the Public Forum for Youth Villages and Boarding Schools, we approached the problem at the beginning of the crisis. We understood that thousands of kids don't have computers. If they don't have computers, they cannot study. If they cannot study, they don't get equal opportunities. And we wanted to give them this opportunity. That's why we went out to this big project that we call the project One Computer Changes the World. And it's not only a slogan, it's reality. One computer can change the life of the kids in boarding school. Like you said, we have more than 30,000 kids in boarding schools and youth villages. And we are working with the government, with the organization, with the Israeli parliament to make sure that they remember those kids, to make sure that they're not forgotten. So this project is one of the biggest projects we did in the corona time, and we see that every day when we give in the computers to the kids. They telling us that we changed their life and we really saved their lives. And that's our goal. That's our main goal, to make sure that those kids get an equal opportunities, because they don't have, most of the time, they don't have parents who can buy them the computers.
Well, Ronnie, let me ask you, where is the funding? Is this all government funding, or is some of this contributions, philanthropic funding for these computers?
All of the funding is from the philanthropic, from good people who want to donate computers and money. And we got 400,000 shekel, for example, from the Harrison Foundation, who sit in Israel, gave us 400,000 shekel to buy computers. We managed to organize 1,400 computers for those kids. We still have more to go. We didn't finish the project. We still have more to go. There are more than 1,500 kids. They don't have computers, and we keep pushing to have more and more computers. We're approaching to the universities, to organizations, to donors to get more computers, or even money to buy computers.
Well, and so, Ronnie, give us some practical information. If somebody wants to either contribute money or a computer even, where do they go to, or how do they approach you in order to do that?
It's very simple. We have a website and we have a Facebook. We call the Public Forum for Youth Villages and Boarding Schools in Israel. They can leave us a message and we will call them back. We are promising to call back to every person and every organization who will approach us. And it's a great opportunity for me to say, please, if you have computers, if you want to donate money to the kids, please approach us to the Public Forum for Youth Villages and Boarding School, and we will promise to call you back.
Ronnie, we just have about a minute left. Briefly, though, I want to ask you, it must be very difficult contending with coronavirus in places like these youth villages and boarding schools. That must be a real challenge.
Yeah, it's a big, big challenge. But one of the great things in the boarding schools and youth villages, that they have great teachers, great managers, great team that working with them and keeping them safe during the corona, and they're doing a great job. They are one of the finest places in Israel, one of the finest schools in Israel, and they're doing really, really great job. And all of the kids that are there, they're very lucky to be there. We're hearing that from the kids themselves. They say in those places save their lives. Otherwise, they will be outside in the street doing stuff that kids doesn't need to do. So those places are really, really great for those kids.
All right. Well, they once housed many new immigrants or the children of immigrants after the Holocaust. Now it's really more for Israeli disadvantaged youth. Ronnie Malkai from the Israel Public Forum for Youth Villages and Boarding Schools. Good luck on your project. Thank you for joining us.